In the dark silence of deep space, a small alien scout ship floated near the edge of a forgotten star system. The crew inside was quiet, watching their monitors with half-shut eyes. Most missions were boring: search old planets, scan empty rocks, return home. But then something changed. A strange signal appeared on their screen. It was weak and old, full of static, but definitely artificial. The captain, a tall creature with glowing red eyes, gave the order to trace it. The signal came from a small dead moon nearby. No life signs, no power, just the signal, repeating the same short message over and over. They landed on the surface. Dust covered everything, and the air was thin and dry. Inside an old metallic structure buried beneath the surface, they found the source of the signal, a human device. It was half broken, its wires exposed, but somehow still working. One of the engineers connected it to their system.
The screen
Lit up, and a video began to play. What they saw made the whole crew go silent. It was footage from a battlefield. Human soldiers were fighting not against aliens, but against each other. Smoke, fire, shouting, blood. The way they moved. Fast, brutal, without mercy. Explosions tore the ground, and yet the humans kept charging forward. Some were even laughing. "Who are they?" one young alien asked, his voice shaking. The captain replied in a low voice, "Humans. From Earth. The ones from the old stories." Another crew member leaned in, whispering, "But they went extinct." The council said it. Earth was destroyed. The captain didn't look away from the screen. "That's what we were told." The video ended, but then the signal changed. Second video started. This one was different. The timestamp was recent. The footage showed a dark room. A human in armor was sitting in a chair, breathing slowly. His eyes opened and looked straight into the camera. "If you're seeing this," he said, "then I'm still alive." The room filled with loud warning beeps. Systems were rebooting. Power was returning. The screen blinked. Live connection. The alien engineer's hands trembled. "This isn't a recording. This is happening now." The captain's eyes narrowed. That means the signal. It's not from the past. Someone is still sending it. Panic started to spread among the crew. One alien dropped his tablet, another backed away. From the screen, the young soldier whispered, "It means one of them, a human, still out there." For the first time in years, fear returned to the hearts of the alien crew. The stories they heard as children were real. The humans were not extinct, had survived. And if one survived, maybe more had. No one spoke. Only the sound of the human's message repeated through the speakers. Over and over again, like a warning lost in time. "I'm still alive," he had said. His voice was calm, cold, sure. The captain turned to his crew and said one word: "Leave." But they all knew it was too late. The forgotten transmission had been found. And now, whatever slept beneath the ashes of Earth was waking up. The alien ship raced through space, leaving the dead moon far behind. Inside the control room, silence filled the air. No one dared to speak. The message from the humans still echoed in their minds. "I'm still alive." The captain gave orders quickly. "We're going to archive Planet 7. We need answers." The young soldier Joro looked nervous, but that's a restricted archive. Only high command can go there. The captain didn't blink. This is not just a mission now. It's survival. After 2 days of silent travel, they arrived at a lonely planet covered in metal towers and black sand. It was a storage world, built by the Galactic Council to keep records of the past. UJI systems managed everything. Crew landed, passed security, and entered the deep tunnels of the archive. A machine voice welcomed them. "Welcome to Galactic Memory Corps. Please state your search." The captain spoke clearly. "Human war history. Level black." The room became quiet. Red lights blinked. Then the machine answered. "Accessing restricted data. Warning. This information may cause psychological damage. Proceed." The captain nodded once. "Proceed." The walls lit up with moving pictures. War, fire, death, all from Earth. The crew watched with wide eyes as humans fought each other using firebombs. sharp knives in their bare hands. There were no rules, no mercy. One video showed a man dragging his bleeding body through mud just to pull a grenade pin with his teeth. Another showed a woman shielding children with her own body while firing back with calm eyes. These were not beasts. They were something worse. Beasts fight for survival. Humans fought with purpose. An old AI voice began to speak. Humans were removed from the galaxy 300 cycles ago. They were considered too dangerous to exist. Tactics were illogical, their courage unnatural, their ability to adapt unstoppable. The youngest crew member whispered, "But why were they like this?" The AI replied they were born on a death world. Everything on Earth tried to kill them, so they learned to kill back. Joro stepped forward, eyes locked on the screen. But maybe they changed. Maybe they could have learned peace. The AI voice grew cold. They did. But only after the war was over, after their enemies were ashes. Suddenly, alarms rang through the archive. A loud voice boomed, "Unauthorized. Presence detected. Bald breach in Sector 9. The crew turned to the captain in shock. "We're the only ones here," someone shouted. The captain looked at the map. Sector 9 was just below them. Without waiting, they rushed down the hallway, weapons ready. They entered a cold, dark room filled with ancient machines. The center was a large cryo chamber. It was active. Inside, they saw a man, a human. His body was covered in armor. His eyes were closed. Ice covered his skin, but his chest moved slow and steady. Joro stepped closer, heart pounding. The nameplate on the glass read, "LT, Armatics Earth Defense Force." One crew member gasped, "How did he get here?" Another said the war was 300 years ago. This can't be real. But it was. The chamber beeped once. Then again, the ice started to melt. The human was waking up. The captain gave the order, but his voice trembled. "Everyone back now." Too late. The man's eyes opened, and he was looking straight at them. News of the humans spread faster than light. Within days, every high-ranking official in the Galactic Council had received the same report. Subject: human soldier, alive. Name: LTR, Maddox. Panic began to grow. Meetings were called. Warnings were issued. Some leaders shouted for his immediate capture or death. Others were quiet, watching, calculating. If one human had survived, more could be out there on a distant council ship. Chancellor Vorin slammed his fist against the table. He should have been destroyed with the others. This is a mistake, no a threat. A general replied nervously, "We had no idea a cryochamber survived. Archive Planet 7 is under low surveillance." No one expected Vorin, cut him off. Now the entire galaxy will remember what we tried to forget. Across many worlds, people reacted differently. The younger generation, who had only read about the human wars in history books, were curious. Some even felt sympathy. But the elders, those who had lived through it, felt fear crawl back into their bones. Back on Archive Planet 7, Joro and the captain stood in silence, watching. The sky where Maddox's small, stolen ship had disappeared. "He didn't attack us," Joro said. "He could have killed us all. But he didn't." The captain nodded slowly. "He's not here to destroy us. Not yet." What they didn't know was that Maddox had already begun his mission. Inside the small alien craft, Maddox sat with his stolen console, trying to link to old Earth frequencies. Most were dead, empty, silent. But deep in one dark corner of the void, he found something. A signal. Weak, but alive. Repeated only 2 words over and over. "Stand by, stand by." His heart pounded. That was a human code. One used only by sleeper cells. Frozen. Military teams waiting for activation. Maddox opened the channel and sent a single line. "LT Maddox confirmed alive. Hostile contact made. Earth memory intact. Request awakening of all remaining units." Message flew across space like a ghost call in hidden corners of the galaxy. Machines blinked to life. Cryopods beeped. Silent bunkers powered up after 300 years of darkness. Soldiers who had been sleeping for centuries started to wake up. Meanwhile, On a central galactic prison ship, the Council had placed a bounty on Maddox's head. They called him a dangerous relic and warned the public to report any sightings, but they didn't understand the human mind. Pressure only made them fight harder. Maddox was not hiding. He was moving, at a refueling station on a lawless moon. He met an old alien smuggler who still remembered Earth. "You're real," the smuggler whispered. "I thought your kind was wiped out." Maddox only replied, "We were. Then we got back up." As he left, he planted a second message into the old smuggler's station and linked it to a long-range beacon. This time, the message was not a distress signal, it was a warning to any surviving human units. You are not alone. War never ended. Prepare for return. Back at the Galactic Council, alarms rang again. Another human signal had been detected, stronger this time. More dangerous, the translation teams finally cracked one human word that kept repeating in Maddox's messages. One word the Council didn't want to hear. One word that chilled every leader to their core. Unforgiven. They had buried the past, but now the past was digging itself out, and it remembered everything in the cold darkness of space. Old machines began to hum again. Deep in secret bunkers, lights flickered on for the first time in centuries. Human cryopods unlocked with sharp bursts of steam. One by one, the soldiers opened their eyes, confused at first, then focused. They all heard the same voice in their earpieces. A voice they remembered, calm, strong. Maddox's voice. "This is LT Maddox. Earth is gone. The war never ended. Wake up. Across the galaxy. The sleeping army of mankind was rising. The Galactic Council went into full lockdown. Ships were recalled. Emergency fleets were launched. A red-level threat was declared across all systems. News channels were filled with alerts. Warning. Multiple human signals detected in outer zones. For centuries, humans had been a ghost story. Now they were everywhere. The leaders argued in panic. "How many are there?" one shouted. "Where did they hide all these years?" Another asked, "What do they want?" The answer came in the form of a message. It was not sent through normal channels. It hacked through every broadcast system, every station, every screen. Maddox appeared standing tall in his armor, face calm, eyes cold. "This message is for the Galactic Council." He said, "You destroyed our home. You called it peace. You called it justice. But you only feared what you couldn't control." He stepped closer to the camera. "You thought we were gone. You were wrong. Humanity remembers, and humanity is coming." The signal cut. The Council sent out fleets to hunt Maddox and the other awakened soldiers, but they failed. The humans moved like shadows, fast, smart, and always one step ahead. They knew how the Council thought. They knew how to strike. They weren't looking to destroy planets. They were sending a message. We are back. On one world, a hidden human team took control of a weapons base without firing a shot. On another moon, they hacked into the main galactic comm center and replaced all files with Earth War records. Everywhere they went, they left behind one symbol, a cracked planet with a rising fist. Alien civilians began to question everything. Many had been told humans were savage beasts. But now they saw something else: discipline, purpose, revenge without chaos. A power that had survived extinction. Joro, the young alien soldier who once found Maddox, watched the news with silent fear. He knew this was only the beginning. Maddox had said it clearly. They were not here for destruction. It's not yet. They were here to remember, to reclaim, and maybe to finish what was started. On an old battlefield turned to dust, Maddox stood, looking up at the stars. His armor was worn but strong. Around him stood other awakened soldiers. Hundreds, maybe thousands. One turned to him and asked, "What now, sir?" Maddox didn't smile, simply stared into the dark sky, then spoke. "They called us extinction. We call it payback." In the distance, Earth's remains floated cold and quiet. But from its ashes, something more dangerous had risen. Not a nation, not an army. A memory, the kind that never dies. And across the stars everyone now knew. When the aliens finally described humanity, the word meant total annihilation. The cryochamber opened with a sharp hiss. Cold mist flowed out, covering the floor like a slow-moving fog. The human inside took a deep breath, then stepped forward. His armor was old, scratched, and worn, but still strong. The symbol of Earth. The defense force was still visible on his chest. His eyes scanned the room, quiet, calculating, dangerous. The alien crew stood frozen. Their weapons were raised, but their hands shook. They had never seen a human before, only stories, only warnings. Now one stood in front of them alive, awake and fully armed. The human moved fast, too fast. In one smooth motion, he grabbed a metal rod from the chamber and knocked the nearest weapon out of a soldier's hand. He spun, pushed another alien against the wall, and took his blaster. No one could react in time. Within seconds, he had full control of the room. "Don't move," he said coldly. His voice was deep, calm, without fear. Joro raised both hands. "We're not here to hurt you," he said quickly. "Didn't know you were in there." The human looked at him carefully, then to the others. "Who are you?" he asked. "What year is it?" The captain answered slowly. "You've been asleep for over 300 cycles. Earth is gone." The words hit hard, but the human didn't show emotion. He only asked one thing. "Where's the rest of my unit?" The human slowly lowered the blaster. But didn't give it up. He moved to the center of the room and looked around. "Where am I?" "This is Archive Planet 7, the captain replied. "You were stored in a restricted vault. We found a signal." The human nodded. "My distress beacon. I set it before I entered cryosleep." Joro stepped forward. "What happened?" "To Earth, we were told. Humans were removed." The human's eyes grew sharp. "Removed? That's a nice word for what they tried. The Galactic Council invaded, bombed our cities, burned our forests. They thought we would break." He paused. "But we didn't." The room went silent. Even the machines seemed to hold their breath. "We fought back," the human continued. "We gave them fire for fire, blood for blood. They couldn't understand us. They called us monsters. So they tried to wipe us out." One of the aliens whispered, "Did they succeed?" The human looked him straight in the eyes. "Do I look dead to you?" No one spoke. Joro swallowed hard. "What will you do now?" The human looked at the control panel, typed in commands with expert fingers. A map appeared showing stars, planets, and hidden signals. He searched for something, maybe someone. Then he spoke. "If I'm still alive, others might be too. Soldiers, colonies, remnants." He turned to them. "And if we're still alive, we're not done yet." The captain raised his hand. "You can't just leave. Council will come. They will see this as a threat." The human smiled for the first time. It wasn't a kind smile. It was cold, fierce. "They already started the war," he said. "They'll see how it ends." He walked past them, blaster in hand, leaving the vault behind. The crew didn't try to stop him. They just watched, knowing deep inside that something had changed. The human had returned, and nothing in the galaxy would ever be the same again. The alien crew sat in the control room of the archive, silent and shaken. No one had chased the human. No one even tried. Lieutenant Maddox had left like a ghost from the past, walking through their ship, holding their weapon, watching them like they were insects under his boot. But he didn't kill anyone. He didn't need to. His presence alone was enough. Jor sat quietly, thinking about everything he had seen. He couldn't forget the way Maddox spoke. Calm, clear, full of pain and something deeper rage. Joro had always been told humans were monsters. Stories warned children to fear them. But this human didn't look like a monster. He looked like a soldier who had seen too much and lost everything. They soon found him sitting in the old archive command room, surrounded by screens. He wasn't trying to escape. He was watching war videos, records, battle logs, his footage of Earth's last. Stan played on loop. The captain approached him slowly. "What are you looking for?" he asked. Maddox didn't turn. He answered, "The truth." Joro stepped closer. "We don't understand. Why were your people like this? So violent?" Maddox looked at him now, his eyes tired but focused. Because we were built that way, not by choice, by nature, by time. Earth was a death world. Our animals tried to kill us. Our weather tried to kill us. Even our own kind fought us. So we learned to fight harder, to survive, to win. He played a video, showed humans fighting during the old Earth War's fire. Everywhere wounded soldiers helping each other. One man running into enemy fire just to save a child. Maddox said softly, "We didn't want war." But when war came, we didn't run. It became something the galaxy had never seen before, and they feared us, the captain asked. But why did the war start? Why would the council attack your world? Maddox leaned back. Because we didn't bow. They came offering peace but on their terms. Control, taxes, obedience. We said no. They sent diplomats. We sent them home. They sent warships. We destroyed them. That's when they decided humanity had to be erased. Joro looked at the screen, and you fought back? Maddox smiled just a little. He made them regret every second. Another crew member spoke up, confused. The council said Earth was turned to dust. You were defeated. Maddox stood and walked to the map. Yes, they destroyed Earth, but Earth wasn't the end. We had colonies, deep ones, hidden ones. We had backup plans. Cryo teams like me. He turned to them all. You think I'm the last? I'm not. I'm just the first to wake up. The crew exchanged nervous looks. If that was true, if other human soldiers were still sleeping somewhere in the stars, then the war was not over. It was just waiting. The captain spoke. Slowly. If others like you return, what will they do? Maddox's voice was steady. Remember, rebuild. And if needed, finish what we started. Silence fell again. The truth was too heavy. Finally, Joro whispered, Maybe we were. Wrong. Maybe you're not the monsters. Maddox looked at him and said, No, we were monsters. But not by birth. We were made that way by war, by pain, by betrayal. He walked toward the door, ready to leave the archive forever. Tell your council, he said without turning back. We remember everything. Then he was gone. But the message stayed. The humans hadn't forgotten, and now the galaxy would remember them too. Galactic Command had never faced silence like this before. Planets that once felt safe were now watching the stars with fear. Trolls doubled, borders locked. The word human was spoken in whispers again. Every day a new report arrived, another. Outpost gone, another signal hijacked, another symbol burned into the walls, the cracked planet with the rising fist. But there were no major attacks, no planets destroyed, no fleets burned. That was what confused the council most. The humans weren't starting a war. They were preparing something. Moving in silence, making the galaxy nervous. Maddox wasn't trying to win quickly. He was letting them remember. On a hidden moon base, deep underground, human commanders gathered. These were the last real warriors of Earth's frozen, scattered. Lost for centuries. Now awake, now united. Maddox stood before them, helmet under one arm. His voice echoed in the steel chamber. We are not ghosts anymore, he said. We are not stories. We are not extinct. We are what they feared we would become, survivors who remember. He pointed to the map of council territory. Dozens of blinking dots showed their cells small, mobile, impossible to track. We don't need to destroy their cities. We only need to destroy their belief that they are safe. Once they fear again, they will speak our name with truth. And when they lie to their people, we will show them the recordings, the betrayals, the bombings, what they did to Earth. Another soldier stepped forward. And then Maddox answered without blinking. And then we give them a choice. Stand trial or burn. Back on the council's homeworld, Chancellor Vorin stood before the High Assembly. His hands trembled. We must act now, he shouted. Humans don't make threats. They make promises. But even among the council, cracks were forming. Some leaders wanted to fight. Others wanted to surrender. Few whispered what no one dared say aloud. What if the humans are right? Public fear was turning to guilt. Alien citizens demanded answers. Why had Earth really been destroyed? Why was the war erased from records? The truth was leaking, bit by bit, pushed by human broadcasts, videos, messages, warnings, confessions. From old council members who had once ordered the bombings, humanity wasn't just fighting with weapons. They were winning with truth. Joro watched it all from a distance, stationed at a small diplomatic outpost. Every day, he replayed the first time he saw Maddox. The calm eyes, the quiet fury, the mercy. He had once feared humans. Now, he wasn't sure what he felt. One night, a coded message came in. I take it. It was short, erect. A human signal. Not a threat. A meeting request. Joro hesitated but answered. He met Maddox again, face to face, in a hidden corner of space. No weapons, no guards, just two soldiers. Why me? Joro asked. Maddox looked at him. Because you listened. They sat together, quiet. Then Maddox said, this doesn't have to end in fire. But we won't forget. We don't want peace built on lies. We want truth and justice. That's all. Joro nodded slowly. The first time in his life he believed it. When Maddox left, he sent one final message to every star, every system, every ship in the galaxy. A message for all to hear. Humanity does not seek war, but we will not run from it. You're the children of Earth. We remember our fall, and we rise not in hate, but in warning. There was no music, no flame, just silence. But across the stars, the message burned like fire. The age of forgetting was over. The age of remembering had begun. And in every corner of the galaxy they now knew, when humanity is remembered, annihilation follows.